And it's not just food and grocers that find themselves in the crosshairs of the Amazon Whole Foods deal.
The price on your phone and the price on the shelf in front of you are not always the same number, and almost nobody checks before they grab the item and walk away. Once you know why that gap exists, you'll never shop this store the same way again. Walmart runs on systems most shoppers never think to question. A return policy that's more generous than it looks, a discount structure most people never realize is quietly building over time, and a stocking process that happens entirely while the doors are locked. None of it is a secret in the sense of being hidden on purpose. It's just never explained, and that gap between what's true and what shoppers assume is exactly where the savings and the surprises are sitting. You'd be awesome if you smash the like button right now. It genuinely helps this channel grow. And if you're not subscribed yet, hit that too because we're breaking down a different store every single week. Let's get into it. 1. The app price and the shelf price aren't always the same number. Clearance pricing gets updated in the Walmart app before the physical tag on the shelf ever changes, which means scanning a barcode on an item you're already holding can sometimes reveal a lower price than what's printed right in front of you. One shopper reported finding a $20 gap between the in-store tag and the app price on the exact same item. Walmart is also rolling out digital shelf labels across more stores, which will eventually close this gap. But until every store makes the switch, the phone in your pocket is genuinely worth a second check before you commit to the printed number. A price gap on the shelf is one thing to catch. Skipping the checkout line entirely is a completely different level of convenience most shoppers never activate. 2. You can skip the checkout lane completely. The Scan and Go feature inside the Walmart app lets you scan each item with your phone as you shop, building your total in real time, then pay and walk straight out without ever standing in a register line. It sounds almost too simple, which is probably why so few shoppers actually turn it on. Most people still default to the same checkout habit they've used for years, without realizing the app has quietly made that whole step optional. Skipping the line saves time. The return policy saves you an entire extra trip you might assume you need to make. Most returns don't actually require a receipt. Walmart's return policy is more forgiving than most shoppers assume. For the majority of items, you can bring the product back without a receipt at all, as long as you're within the standard return window. The system can typically look the purchase up through other means, which means that drawer full of lost receipts at home was never actually the barrier people assume it is. Returns without paperwork are one convenience. What happens overnight while the store is closed is a completely different operation running behind the scenes. 4. The shelves refill while you're asleep. Walmart runs dedicated overnight stocking crews specifically so shelves are fully restocked by the time the store opens each morning. It's why a shelf that looked picked over at closing time can look completely untouched by crowds the next morning. An entire shift of work happened in between that most shoppers never see or think about. Overnight stocking is one hidden operation. The way employees are trained to approach you on the floor is a completely different, more immediate system. 5. Employees are trained to approach you within 10 feet. Walmart associates are trained to acknowledge and offer help to any customer within roughly a 10-foot radius, which is why it can feel like someone appears out of nowhere the moment you look even slightly lost in an aisle. It's not a coincidence and it's not random friendliness. It's a specific trained distance built into how the floor staff is expected to operate. 10 feet is one trained rule. The codes spoken over the intercom are a completely different layer of the store's internal communication. 6. The announcements you hear are actual operational codes. Certain phrases called out over the store intercom aren't random. Code Spark signals registers need backup fast, while Code Atom is the specific protocol triggered when a child is reported missing in the store. Recognizing these isn't just trivia, it means understanding what's actually happening around you in the moment, rather than assuming it's background noise. Store codes are one layer of what's happening behind the scenes. What the website tells you about stock is a completely different, less reliable story. 7. The website doesn't always know what's actually on the shelf. Multiple employees have confirmed that Walmart's online stock listings aren't fully reliable. An item marked as available can turn out to be completely absent from the shelf once you actually arrive, leaving both the shopper and the employee staring at an empty spot together. Treat the website's in-stock listing as a starting point for your trip. Not a guarantee, especially for anything you're driving specifically to pick up. Online accuracy is one gap. The employee discount structure is a completely different system, and it rewards patience most people don't expect. 8. The employee discount grows the longer someone stays. All Walmart employees receive a standard 10% discount, but the number quietly increases with tenure, and employees who've stayed with the company for 15 years or more can qualify for a discount that lasts the rest of their lives. It's a detail most shoppers never think about, but it explains why some of the most loyal deal hunters in any Walmart are the employees themselves. Employee loyalty is rewarded quietly. Store brand loyalty deserves more attention than most shoppers give it to. 9. The store brand is sometimes made in the exact same factory. Walmart's private label products are frequently manufactured by the very same companies that produce the name brand version, sitting one shelf over, just packaged differently and priced lower. The ingredients or specs are often nearly identical, which means the instinct to reach past the store brand for something more trusted is frequently just paying more for the same product in different packaging. Store brands hide behind packaging. Third-party tracking tools exist specifically to strip that guesswork out of everything else in the store. 10. Outside tools can track clearance and inventory across every nearby store. Independent websites exist specifically to track pricing and stock levels across large retailers, including Walmart, letting shoppers compare which nearby location actually has an item in stock and at what price before ever leaving the house. It's not run by Walmart at all, which is exactly why it can surface information. The store's own website sometimes gets wrong. External tracking tools are one layer of preparation. The clearance aisle itself runs on a rhythm most shoppers never notice. 11. The clearance aisle restocks on a schedule, not randomly. According to employees who've worked stock and shipping, the clearance section isn't a static pile that sits untouched. It gets refreshed with new markdowns on a regular basis, effectively running its own rotating sale that most shoppers walk past without realizing new items are added on a consistent cycle. Checking back regularly, rather than assuming you've already seen everything there, is often the difference between finding something and missing it entirely. A rotating clearance aisle is one system running quietly. The price match policy is the last piece, and it's one of the most underused tools in the entire store. 12. Walmart will still match a lower price you found elsewhere. Walmart has offered price matching against competitors' listed prices, meaning showing a cashier a verified lower price at another store can get that price honored right at the register without ever having to make a second trip. It's one of the simplest tools available and one of the least used, mostly because most shoppers don't think to ask or don't realize the option is still there at all. 12 systems, all running quietly behind a store most people walk through on autopilot. None of them required a coupon, a membership, or an insider connection, just knowing where to actually look. So which one of these are you going to try on your next trip?